We're going to give it just a few moments for everybody to show up. Give me just a second. There we go. Message sent. Jin should be along shortly. Alrighty, guys. So, yeah. Big move coming up, everybody. The Dolphagator's in a bit of a mess. Sorry, I had a mustache hair in my mouth. But the Dolphagator's in a bit of a mess because I've been packing from back to front. Can't sleep in here tonight because it's just so hot. Oh my God, it is sweltering tonight. And because we're having to run 2 separate air conditioners over there to keep everything cool. What's up, my baby? But because we have to run 2 air conditioners over there and his wiring isn't the best, it's popping a breaker running mine. So I'm going to have to sleep over there tonight. Joy sleeping in the living room. All the dogs. That's going to be fun. But you know how it is, guys. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Not only that, but let's go on ahead and see how many more people we got going to come up in here. So far we got 1 person in here. Welcome, welcome. Tonight's topic is going to be about the American child support system, especially involving down here in Texas. Especially my experience with it. So I hope y'all stick around. This is a serious topic, and it is one I am very, very intimate with. Oh, yeah, it's better than being too hot. Oh, I know. It's definitely better than that. All right, let's get comfy here. We got a decent amount of water. We're going to combine these 2 jugs together, make 1 jug. And then I'll check and see how many people have showed up. And if we got enough people, we'll get started. Almost done, guys. All right. There we go. There's our jug of water. And we are ready. All right, we still only have 3 people in here, Jin, and 2 new people. So I'm going to wait just a little longer to see who else is going to show up. All right, guys? We're going to give it till about 10 minutes in, and then I'm going to go on ahead and start talking. Okay, everybody? Now, the way the channel is set up and the way the rules are for Final Thoughts is for the first 30 minutes of the live, I discuss the topic. And then after that, if you have anything to say on the subject, go on ahead and say what you got to say. Or, if you want to talk, because afterwards, that's just a hangout session. All right, guys? So I hope y'all stick around all the way to the end of the show. Guys, because today we're talking about the American child support system, especially my experience down here in Texas. So I hope y'all stick around. Because, guys, it ain't easy, and it's not a pretty story. It's definitely nothing fun to look at. What's up, Sean? You just got through eating a snack, honey? All righty. But yeah, what you doing there, Sean? How you been, bro? Just doing my spiel. Waiting on a few more people, man. We're going to give it till about 10 minutes, and if nobody else has showed up by then, I'm going to go on ahead and do my thing. So how's your day been, Sean? Ooh, these mosquitoes are getting on my nerves. Unfortunately, I can't run my AC unit tonight, so I have the windows and doors open. But it makes for great ambience. Alrighty, guys. We're almost 5 minutes in. So we're going to give it another 5 more minutes to see if we can get anybody else to show up. And then I'm going to start my little conversation about child support and how it affects those that have to pay it, and how not all, but quite a few of those that get it spend it. You know, not all of them spend it the way they're supposed to. That's for sure. You know what, guys? I might as well go on ahead and get into it. All right, so here we go. American child support. I don't know how it is for the rest of the world, but for a large chunk here in America, you know, you have people that are paying, you know, more than 50% of their monthly wage just in child support alone. Hi, McCash, how you doing? You know, but they pay more than half of their monthly wages in child support. In my case, I pay 75%. You know, guys, out of 800 and something, I get 300, you know. So that is what I have to deal with. And luckily, I'll be able to save more money this time around, although all of it's going into the Dolphigator, you know. So we're talking about child support system, you know. But I'll tell you this right now, man, they don't care how much you make. Because when I got hit with child support the first time around, I was making $500 a month. They hit me with $475. Guys, they were willing to leave me with $25 a month to survive off of. They told me to get another job. So I did. I got a second full-time job. And I worked 24/7, never took a day off. But you know what happened, guys? They took double the payments and still said I was far behind. Still kept telling me that I wasn't paying enough, that I wasn't doing enough. And it ended up, you know, by the time it was all over said and done, I was so far behind I'd never catch back up. And that's unfortunate because it makes me look like a deadbeat. And it happens to a lot of people, you know, because that is a big beetle. That sucker is flying around. But anyway, it's unfortunate because it makes a lot of good men look like bad men. You know, it makes a lot of good women look like bad women too, because men are not the only ones who pay child support. My friend just got, who's a female, just got hit with $800 a month in child support, which is half their wages. You know, and she's got a handicapped husband with a severe septic infection. So they're taking away his money for his medication is what they're doing. They're taking away the money for his pain meds. And that's not right. You know, guys, they literally told her find a third job, you know, and when she does, they're going to take more money out of that. And guys, if she files for income taxes, they're going to take her income taxes too. You know, that's just how it works. If she ever gets behind, they're going to take everything she's got. And if she gets too far behind, they'll take equity in place of that. And in case you don't know what that means they can take your house and your car, whatever's in your name, you know, that's of value. They can take it. And by of value, I mean something that's at least a car or a home or an RV in my case. You know, they will take it. You know, in my case, I'm a little safe because I don't have my title yet. I have to file for a bonded title. But anyhow, so yeah, I get, like I said, $800 a month is what I was supposed to get, you know. But after they take child support out, I get $374, which is the total number of what I get a month, you know, guys. And whenever I was here and I was paying my bills, I only would end up with $74 a month to live off of, or $84, depending upon, you know, what I had to pay for that month, you know. But anyhow, it's a really rough existence, you know. Even when you got two jobs, if you're behind, they're going to garnish your wages from both jobs, you know, guys, and they're going to take more than half, you know. And the further behind you get, the more money they're going to take, you know. And they were already taking half, or they were already taking 75% or more from me in the first place, you know, and now they're taking just as much. And, you know, and it causes people on a fixed income, you know, whether it's via salary or via Social Security or SSI or retirement or just workman's compensation, you know, they're going to garnish those wages. They're going to take them. And this is not fair in one way. Because yes, you need to pay child support. Yes, you need to help take care of your child. You need to be there for your kid, and you better be there for your kid. You're supposed to. But guys, if you don't pay your child support, you will be punished. But what I am saying is they shouldn't make child support so steep on us, guys. It really should be based around your income, not based around a set percentage. Guys, it should be, okay, we're going to look at how much you make, how much the average person takes to survive, and then we're going to subtract what you can pay for out of that. Guys, no, that's not the case. Which there's a lot of people that will refuse to work and just stay home, and do under the table jobs just so they don't have to pay child support because they didn't want kids in the first place, which is, they shouldn't have never had them. But that's not the child's fault. That's the fault on the parent. That's not the state's fault. That's the fault on the parent. Well, the state's fault is when they literally set the bar so high that it doesn't matter how much money you make, you will always be in poverty. You will never be able to get above that line until that child is above the age of 18. Guys, and if you're behind, it could be even longer than that. I've seen people who got behind who were paying child support well into their 40s, guys. And I'm unfortunately one of those people that's well far behind in his child support. And it's not for lack of trying. I got hit with back child support right off the bat, and it was a rather large number. I'm not going to spout out how much it was, but it was a very large number to begin with, which already qualified me for something the state of Texas has called the Deadbeat Dad Act, which means if you're so far behind, you're classified as a deadbeat dad, which means you're treated like a felon. And it's unfortunate because I got hit with that immediately, guys. I didn't have a chance to defend myself. I didn't have a chance to appeal. I didn't have a chance to sit there and tell the judge, hey, look, that, I'm not a deadbeat. I'm going to be there. I'm going to do what I can. Instead, they stripped my rights. They made me pay the highest wages that they could possibly get. And then they turned around and told me to just pretty much deal with it. And they do that to a lot of people. I know a man right now that's got 3 jobs, 2 of which are plant-based jobs, where he will literally work 24 hours a day and come home and sleep for 2 hours and go to the next job. So instead, he works a 22-hour day. So yeah, he'll go home, he'll sleep for a couple hours, he'll go back to work. And it's all so he can pay child support on 3 kids that aren't even his, which is something that I'm going to be getting to later when it comes down to, some of the situations that these child support cases are involved in, which is why child support needs a reform. It needs to be changed in some shape, form, or fashion, because honestly, guys, a lot of times it doesn't benefit the child. A lot of times it only benefits the other spouse because they don't use that money on the child. They use that money on what they want. Now, I'm not saying all of them do this, but there is a vast, large percentage of them that I do know that do. I've seen Facebook posts of women going, just got my child support going to get my nails done, or just got my child support going shopping, and, that's not right because they're not spending that money on that kid, but I'm going to get to that. For right now, the main focus on these last few seconds is simply that, when you do start making child support systems so difficult that, you can't get out of the system once you get into it, if you're stuck there and you're forever in debt, no matter how hard you try, and it's forever like you're in deep debt to the IRS because that back child support builds interest daily. Every single day it builds interest. It don't build it weekly. It don't build it monthly. It builds it daily. So it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. by 0.5%, every single day. And that doesn't seem like much, but it builds up real quick at the end of a year, and because it's 0.5% of your total, not 0.5% of what it was to start with. No, it's 0.5% totaled, 0.5% totaled, 0.5% totaled. So it builds up and it just keeps going like that. And it creates a horrible butterfly effect that can literally send people into spiraling debt, horrible drug addiction, alcoholism, sometimes even suicide. Guys, child support needs a reform. But now let me get into the other darker side of it, not the political side. The darker side of it is what really honestly happens with a large chunk of these child support checks that go out. Guys, I've seen a lot of men that will be honest and they'll spend it on the kid. I've seen a lot of women that will be honest and they'll spend it on the kid, like my mother did. But I've also turned around and I've seen women that as soon as they get that check in, oh, it's clubbing time. I've also seen guys that as soon as that child support check comes in, it's bar hitting time. And they'll go out and they'll party, or they'll go shopping, or when the income tax comes in, and they've not only got their income tax, but they've got their ex-spouse's income tax, the other parent, added on to theirs. Boy, they go on a crazy shopping spree. And 9 times out of 10, mostly they'll just buy their kids Christmas and Christmas and birthday out of that. The rest of the time, they're going to spend it on themselves. And these are some very selfish people that do this. And it's very unfortunate that this happens all throughout America. I can't speak for other countries because I'm not there. But I do know that there are several women that are here in America that have had children in what's called baby trapping, which means that they try to keep a man by having a baby. When it doesn't work, they sue him for child support. And yes, he should take care of his kid. But a lot of times, they're not even theirs. There's been so many cases that have came up here in Southeast Texas where the child, after the kid turned 18 and the father was struggling and he was striving and he was like, look, the kid's 18. Is there any way we can get the rest of this appealed, so I can actually have a life now? He's out of school. Well, mom comes up, he's not even your kid, so it doesn't matter. And now all of a sudden the kid's wrecked, the dad's wrecked, the mom looks like a psycho. And the judge is literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, because now he's already hit this guy with a buttload of money, with a buttload of problems. But the issue is the law says he has to side with the mother, So therein lies the issue. He has to side with this woman, even though he knows that she's literally trying to ruin this man's life, and now because he's already spent 18 years paying this child support. And because he's already spent 18 years raising this kid, he can't legally take his name off the birth certificate. He is the legal birth father of that child. He cannot legally disown him without a large headache and a lot of money and a long trial. Guys. So, and he's already raised this kid for 18 years. So now this child is his kid. No matter how you look at it, that is his baby. That is his child that he raised. And now he's finding out he's not his. I've seen that happen quite often. I've also seen it happen when the kid was like 16, 17. That's also not right. I've heard of guys that decided, I'm going to listen to my friends. Maybe they're right. And when they got to see their children, if they get to see their children, but when they got to see their kids, they took them to have a paternity test done. And it turns out that the kids weren't theirs either. Guy took his wife to court right up the road from me because he literally found out that his 7-year-old son that he'd been paying child support on since he was 4 was no longer actually his child. It was actually his brother's kid. Oh yeah, news spreads fast in a small town. But, Those kinds of things happen. But by the state of Texas and by a lot of American law, that doesn't matter because he was the one in the child support case. It does not matter. There's a lot of there's a lot of states now that are making it to where it's mandatory no matter what that the father is the one that pays the child support and the mother is the one that gets primary custody. Guys, what happens when the father's the good man and the mother's actually bad? I've seen that happen. Guys, I've seen an incident where a woman was awarded her children full custody. Man could not see his kids whatsoever, still had to pay child support, wrecked his life, lost his home, lost his car, was literally stuck down into an apartment in a hoopty, and still worked at the plants making $35 an hour. But he couldn't afford nothing more than what he was driving and what he was living in because of child support. And he finds out that this woman the entire time literally was never planning on being his wife or planning on being married to him. She wanted a free paycheck, and she admits this afterwards. And she ends up switching over to drug habits. Now his kids are stuck with this woman who's now addicted to meth, and they have to grow up in that environment, and he can't do a thing about it. He worries about him every day because she moves from place to place to place to place to place, so she don't get caught smoking meth. And I hate to say this, but I have personally witnessed her doing it, so I know what I'm saying is honestly true. She is a meth head, and she has full custody of those kids. So every time she gets in a check, that's what she spends it on. It either goes up her nose or in her lungs through a pipe. Guys, and that ain't right. And it was because a few years ago, that was how Texas was. Now, Texas likes to look at people that, who has the best living environment and who has the most money. And that's who they look at, who has the most equity, who has the most to offer the child. And that's who ends up getting the child. And unfortunately, the house was what screwed us this time. Guys, it's so old that it's willing to be condemned, and it's definitely need to be going down very soon. Oh, what's wrong, emergency response? I'm frozen? Let me see. Let me see here. Am I still frozen, guys? Hey, did I still freeze? Somebody tell me. Oh, okay. All right. Well, last little bit of where I'm getting at, and then we'll get into the hangout session, guys. But anyway, so, then you got situations where the woman is vindictive or the man is being vindictive and they just want to hurt the other person. They just want to take as much money as possible. And that's not fair or right either. Why should you destroy somebody's life just because your relationship with them did not work out? Guys, that's not a reason. Revenge is not the answer. Being vindictive, especially towards your child's parent, the other most important person out of your kid's life, you're going to be vindictive and evil towards that person. And especially when you turn around and badmouth them, right in front of the kid. That is a devastating thing to a child. And I've seen, what's up, Brianna? I've seen so many people that are my age now that are totally messed up because of those type of situations. And this needs to stop. This needs to change. I think that every time a child is born, there should be a mandatory paternity test. I'm not speaking out of misogyny. I am simply saying that there are enough people out there that have cheated and had kids and let somebody else raise them and have to pay child support and have ruined other people's lives when they should have ruined the person's life that's actually for the kid in the first place. Don't mess up some stranger to the child's life. Leave that person alone. You know, guys, if you're not sure who the parent is, if you're not sure who the father is, let the other partner know. Oh yeah, it has been a while, Glitched. How you doing? No, I get you too, Brianna. You know, I've been there, done that myself, but however, my kids are actually mine. They were just taken from me in a divorce case. But, and I still pay child support. I can't see them at all, but I still pay child support. Or at least I try to. I work my butt off for it. But it hasn't always been easy. Anyway, so yeah, where I was getting at on this last little 5 minutes of the, you know, of the, I guess you could say article, video, vlog, whatever. But, you know, as we're coming to a conclusion, we are staring at a new age, guys. We're looking at the beginning of a new dawn of humanity. And it can go one of two ways. And unfortunately, it's tilting in the wrong direction. You know, we could be funding more super sciences, such as space exploration. You know, we could be funding more environmental sciences, such as, you know, disease and disorder research, so that maybe we can cure things like scoliosis. Maybe we can cure things like schizophrenia, or maybe even find a new way of treating PTSD. You know, guys, there are so many other different studies that we could put this money into that would actually benefit humanity. Instead, we put it into war. Instead, we put it into struggle. We put it into strife. We put it into hurting our brothers and sisters. You know, we put it into entertainment. You know, there's no reason why somebody who throws around a rubber ball all day or swings a baseball bat should make billions. All right, guys. You know, hundreds of thousands maybe. You know, but billions, guys? No. No. Calling them a true American hero? No, they're not an American hero. They're football players, and a lot of them commit crimes and have been busted lately. So don't tell me they're heroes. You know, don't tell me that they're great all-American people, because they're just no different from you and me. You know, the only difference is they play a sport really well. You know, and that's why I support HEMA. That's why I support K2, because these particular sports, you know, are not widely known. They're not heavily paid, but the people who do it love what they do, and they're very good at it. And it's a joy to watch them go at it, because they're doing it for the joy of it, for the fun of it, which makes it a more entertaining video and a more entertaining competition in my mind. But, you know, I would love to have continued to do those kinds of things, such as HEMA and things of that sort. But again, another cause of that was simply because of, you know, child support. Like I had said, I couldn't afford to keep up with it anymore. Guys, I can't even afford to feed myself now. I got to get on food stamps, you know, just to be able to feed myself. And that ain't right. You know, guys, that ain't fair. But we're going to hope that they give us a phone call sometime soon. You know, that would be rather nice. You know, and it's all good, Brianna. You know, thank you for your sentiment. But guys, we're the last few seconds, so this is all I'm going to say to finish out the subject, all right? The American child support system needs refining. It needs a change. You know, the American paternity and birthing system needs a change. Everything here in America, honestly, needs a change right now. But we're leaning towards the wrong kind of change. You know, we're leaning towards a change that is heading us towards World War III. And we need to calm down. We need to start focusing more on helping ourselves than we do funding other nations or getting a $4 million plane for stupid reasons that most consider to be treason. You know, guys, it's starting to make a lot of people feel like America's for sale. And unfortunately, when you pay child support and when you have to deal with this stuff, you feel like you're for sale. And you feel like that sale is real low. And the reason being is because you have to do under the table work just to be able to make your money, while you go out and actually work your butt off at another job so that you can pay your child support. It's always a guarantee you'll have to have 2 jobs. But that's the end of that. All right, guys, let's get into the hangout. All right. We got Jin's channel here to pin down. What's up, John? Yeah, you missed the main final thoughts portion of it. Honestly, I could have went on for longer, but I felt like I was a blowhard. Let me get a drink real quick. Vocals are a little scratchy. That's a little warm. All right. And one more thing. I got to run to the restroom real quick. So I'll see you guys in just a second. And one more thing, guys, I will be right back. I left something over at the other house. I left one of my medications over there. I just realized it. All right, I'm back, guys. Y'all be happy to know that I actually have some heart meds for myself now. Hi, country kids. Sorry I was gone. I was getting some heart medication. You see, I've had some high blood pressure problems due to stress lately. And guys, that is one of the problems with being on child support. You're going to be really stressed out. Listen to those crickets. That means the weather is getting nice. Oh, yes, man. Welcome to the swamp, John. You know, you ought to hear it after the rain, man. The frogs are going nuts. You know, and then I'm sloshing back and forth all for like a week before it dries up, man. But yeah, I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss this quiet because where I'm moving to is right off the highway. So that's going to suck. Oh, yeah. I grew up way deep in the swamps, bro. Way deep in the woods. Little town called Warren. Ran around out in the creeks and the marshes out there on Hickory Creek, and ran around through the big thicket with my dad. Guys, it's a beautiful life when you can learn to get back to nature on a regular basis. Don't be afraid of it. Just because there's critters doesn't mean nothing. Yeah, that's why I love it, Jen Jen. You're my country girl. But yeah, guys, that's why I love this ambience. That's why I sit out here and I leave the windows and the door open, because it's so soothing and it matches the positive atmosphere that I try to bring to the show. Hi, Jenny. It's Jenny. I'm sorry, I had to, guys. I had to. What you doing, Jenny? I'm sorry. I know you probably get that a lot. I just couldn't help it. Ooh, skeeters. Skeeters. Everywhere. Yeah, Jen, meet Jenny. Jenny, meet Jen. Well, guys, thank y'all for the likes so far. I'd like to have seen a few more up there, guys, but, it is okay. It is what it is. I'm not going to freak out about the likes anymore. I ain't even going to worry about them. What I'm more worried about is you guys liking, subscribing, and sharing, guys. We're trying to grow our community here. But, oh yeah, but you laugh at it all the time. All right, Jenny, that works. I already have. She comes in my chat too. Oh, okay. I got you. I didn't know that. That's cool that you go into my Jen's chat. I'm her boyfriend, Clint Gage. Nice to meet you. Pardon the water and the mustache. I drink about half a gallon on the show every day. No joke, about half a gallon on the show. We're here to do positive things. Exactly, John. That's the whole point of my channel. I am trying to create an organization called the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum. I call everybody who subscribes to me my knights, because you all are. And the only thing I ask of y'all is like, share, subscribe, guys. Share these videos, pass them around, get the word out. I don't care about the fame. I'm trying to get the word of positivity and love and kindness spread to the world. So help me with that, guys. Help me fulfill a dream of a unified planet where all are united, where all are one voice, one heart, one song. Steph, how you doing? Thank you for the like. I had a person on my side today about the breakup. Oh, that's cool, Jen. I'm moving back to Scotland tomorrow. All right, Jenny. Wow, that's cool. Scotland. You love that. You're down. All right, John. Welcome to the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum, man. Oh, we're doing well here, Stephanie, except for the heat, man. It is hot. Oh my God. Woo! It's a spicy meatball tonight. It is 95 degrees right now. Oh, it's humid here every day. I live in a swamp. So it's humid here every day. It's very close to a tropical environment. Oh, you're in Indiana. All right. That's cool, John. North Carolina. All right, Steph. Jen's from North Carolina. It's going to be 96 for you there tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hot here. It's going to be a quarter. It's going to be a quarter. Going to need a lot of water for this move. Oh, yeah, she's from North Carolina, too. It's so cool. I keep meeting people from North Carolina. It's awesome. Now we got Scotland in the house. That's cool. We had Ireland in the house earlier today. I finally figured out what hurling was. That's that little sport where they slide the big, huge thing across the ice and the guys sit in front of it with the broom and they brush real furiously and then they try to ski in front of it and see how far they can make it go. That's what hurling is, apparently. And, you know, that's actually pretty cool. You know, I did not know what that thing was called. You live in Australia. There's another Australian. Oh, nice. Thank you, Jenny. I have several dear friends from Australia. I'm like right in the middle, LOL, 45 minutes from Charlotte. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Thank you, Jenny. Or thank you, Jen Jen. And yeah, that's awesome, Steph. You know, one of these days, I'm going to be able to get up there and see my Jen Jen. But first, I got to learn how to drive this big old beast. I got to figure out everything about it. And then when I do, we going to take off. You know, I'm going to go. I'm going to pick up my Jen Jen and the Doppelganger. And we're going to hit the United States, guys. You're an hour south of Riley. Oh, okay. I'll remember that now. Can't be too many towns an hour south of Riley. Oh yeah, that the whole plan is right now I'm trying to figure out what I can legally do as a disabled American to be able to not only go visit my Jen Jen, but to be able to set up this charity, guys. And I'd like to go visit all of my American subscribers and go say hi, you know, guys, to as many of them as I can, and make it like a big old travel video, you know, and it would be so awesome to meet everybody in person. But that one might be a pipe dream. But the real dream is literally just traveling the U.S. That can actually be accomplished. But then there's the bucket list, traveling the world. Oh, all right. We'll see you later, Jenny. You have fun, man. Or sweetie. Nice, Steph. Oh yeah, okay. So the charity, guys. Let me go get my first. Let me find me a light so I can see, and then I will get my spiral. Okay, where the hell did I put the spiral? Found it. All right, guys. This is the charity. All right. First, I'll read off our mission statement as a whole. That's the Emerald chapter. We have 12 chapters, by the way. All right. This is the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum as a whole. The Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum mission statement. We are the people of the Holy Rose Sanctum. We are to uphold the weak and aid the just. We are the makers of peace and the keepers of the land. We are to heal the sick and to feed the hungry. We build for the vagabond. We give to those in need. We are to heal those in pain and to end suffering. We are the friendly ear when no one else will listen. We are the hand that reaches out in the night. We are those who walk in honor. We are those who fight when no one else will. We are those who speak only truth. We are the light in the darkness of the world. We are the brothers and sisters of the Rose. We are the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum. That is our mission statement, guys. You know, and there are 12 chapters. Let me find them here. Got them written down. Here we go. We have the silver rose, the turquoise rose, the golden rose, the amethyst rose, the onyx rose, the emerald rose, the ruby rose, the topaz rose, the sapphire rose, the crystal rose, and the pale rose. Now, each one of these chapters actually covers its own charity, guys. So like the silver rose chapter, which is the one that I'm in control of, is over abuse and human trafficking. The turquoise rose, which is my Jin Jin's chapter, they're over cancer research. The golden rose, which is fitness around the world. The amethyst rose is homelessness and bullying. The onyx rose, scholarship funds. The emerald rose, environmental conservation. The ruby rose, disaster relief. The amber rose, orphanages and foster homes. The topaz rose, clean energy. The sapphire rose, medical research. And the crystal rose, miscellaneous small charities, while the pale rose will handle veterans. And that's actually what we plan to do. Hello, Ryder. How you doing? But each one of these chapters will handle these specific charities, guys. Now, of course, all of them kind of are self-explanatory, except for when we get down to the miscellaneous small charities, guys. The Crystal Rose chapter is for those people who don't want to, no, I'm not going to mod you up just because you asked. Sorry, not going to happen. You can quit spamming now. You can stay if you stop spamming. But you start spamming like that, and I'll throw you out. Understand? So be nice, Ryder. All right, there you go. Trollsbane is going to speak. Hide user from channel. You've been cut from the chat, buddy. Told you not to spam. So we've had our first troll of the night, and Trollsbane had to do its job. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, miscellaneous small charities, the Crystal chapter. These are for people who want to be able to donate. Hello, Louise. How you doing? All is great tonight. I'm explaining my charity that I'm trying to create. And by the way, I think it was, John, thank you for enjoying the mission statement so much. It's a wonderful thing that people are enjoying this. But when it comes down to the miscellaneous, this is if you want to donate to something like an existing charity, but you do it in the name of the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum, and you do it under the chapter of the Crystal Rose. It's an anonymous chapter where you don't have to explain anything. You don't have to sign up for nothing. All you got to do is just get a membership, and you can actually be able to take, which membership's not going to be expensive. The membership is going to be a simple donation. For the Crystal Rose chapter, it's going to be a simple donation of $20, and you can enter in there. And then they're going to be more expensive depending upon the harder the charity is going to be. But I'm still working on it to see if I can even do this legally without losing my disability, guys. So give me some time to figure out the legal ramifications of this. And then I'll be able to create this charity, guys. But I am looking for volunteers for it, for sure. If somebody would like to volunteer for any chapter, let me know. And we'll write your name down and your channel name, and we'll give you a shout out. We'll give you we'll send you a message, and we'll start communicating, guys. I'll even send you my email. But the thing is about the charity, guys, you have to be out of high school. You have to be a full-fledged adult of 21 or older in order to enter the charity, guys. So in order to be part of the charity, you must be 21 or older. All right? I hate to be that way, but it is what it is. Guys, we will eventually be creating a chapter for youths to join, which is going to be called the Squires. But I haven't quite worked it out yet. But we're going to call them the Thorn Squires. That's all I've came up with was a name. But I haven't worked out how it's going to work. So that's just one of the many ideas that I've been coming up with. I have this charity. I have a possibility for a merchandise store that I'm working on. I'm going to be trying to sell walking staves and pictures that I've hand drawn and things of that sort. Because, guys, I'm actually not a bad artist. You know, let me show you a generic one here. One that literally I will be probably selling majority of. You know, guys. Let's see here. Where's my dragon? Where's my dragon? Where's my dragon? Where's my dragon? Because, guys, there are going to be some complex photographs that I will do, but, or some complex drawings that I will do, and, you know, they're going to be more expensive. The more complex the artwork, the more money I'm going to charge. But this is one of the drawings that would be a simple example of something I would sell on my merchandise store. And I would just autograph it and send it your way. This is a complete freehand right out of my head. There's no reference, nothing like that. Every picture would be unique. Every picture would be special. Every picture, no picture would look the same, you know, and it would all be dated. Oh, thank you, Louise. Thank you. That's not my best artwork. Some of my best is actually right here. If I can find him. There he is. I call him Reese's. Meet Reese. That's some of my best artwork. The detail even in the eye is very, very thorough. You know, down to the pupil and everything. But that's more of some of my best artwork. So yeah, there will be some art photographs that I will sell. You know, some of them might even be, you know, original artwork from my novel. You know, guys, creatures from my book that show everybody the jellyfish. All right, I'll show them the jellyfishes. I'm drawing this for me and my Jen Jen. So she's really proud of our jellyfish. I'm still working on a background because I'm thinking about a background that's a heart-shaped bubble. But I don't know how to draw a bubble. Not really well. But here's our jellyfish so far. I actually taught myself, Louise. I literally just taught myself. You know, I sat down and I wouldn't stop trying until it looked right. You know, when it comes down to the things that I see as a schizophrenic, though, Louise, it comes naturally to me. It just flows out of me. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a talent. You know, I guess that's what a talent is. I've never seen myself as a talented person. Only thing she can draw is a turtle. I see jellyfish tattoos everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of why I decided to draw the jellyfish. And I got the colors inspired from a Medusa jelly that lives in the deep seas. Yes, I am going to try to set up merch. Yeah, jellyfish are really cool, actually. They live without a brain. Their whole body is a brain. You know, their whole body is an eyeball. You know, their entire organ system is transparent. And yeah, they have organs. They have a heart. You know, all kinds of weird things. But jellyfish are so cool. You know, I've always loved animals, and they fascinated me in every which way possible. I've even been stung by a jellyfish once. It was not a pleasant experience. I come flying out of the water. I was like, Mama! And I had whelps all over my legs, right in between my knees. But luckily it wasn't a deadly jellyfish or anything like that, but it sure stung. I think I'd rather get attacked by hornets. Oh yeah, working on merch. I make my own products. I'm a craftsman. I do blacksmithing, bone crafting, leather work, wood carving, bush crafting. You know, I'm trying to learn flint knapping at the moment. I am not good enough to show you guys, so don't ask. It looks terrible. I keep breaking it. Michael Jackson time. Hee hee. Shimon. Yes, the bee from earlier is finally gone, but now I'm dealing with beetles. But yeah, what's up, Carfire? Yeah, see, now I'm dealing with beetles. It's so hot that I have to have the doors and windows open. My little AC unit can't keep up with it. It was burning out on me, and it was tripping the breaker. So we had to unplug it because it was pulling out too much power. And now I have to sit here with just the doors and windows open and deal with it that way. So, you know what? I've slept out in the elements before. Ain't my first time. At least it's a nice time of year. You know what? That's what makes it easier. It's a nicer time of year. Told you my Clint is a sweetheart. Oh, thank you, Jin Jin. See you later, man. See you next time, John, for sure. You know, I try to be as nice as possible. You know, we've had a couple people today that were trying to be trolls, and I get a little serious now. It's not that I'm no longer trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. It's just that I will no longer put up with bull crap. So if you're coming in my chat and you causing a scene, you're gonna be thrown into the gutter, you see. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Had people in my live being trolls too. Aw, I hate trolls. You know, even Vikings hated trolls. You know, you little tree hopper, you're getting on my nerves. I'll see you later. It's 3:22 a.m. Oh, okay, Carfire. See you next time, man. Oh, Louise. I turned around and I was supposed to write it down, but I totally spaced on it. But I turned around and I looked up the little poem that you guys say before you eat haggis. And I was going to spout it out the next time I saw you, but I totally forgot. Oh, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Because, you know, it takes one to know one. You should have told him, yeah, I'm that one. You know, pull a ghetto sister on him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. See you later, Carfire. Oh, man. Oh, it's good, Louise. But, you know, I love the fact that I'm meeting people from all over the world. And it makes me excited. It makes me feel like a kid again, getting a National Geographic and getting a new map, you know, and getting to learn all about the area or getting to learn another culture's past, you know, like Stonehenge or something of that sort. You know, they just fascinate me. It still fascinates me. Would y'all leave my screen alone? The critters of the swamps. The critters of the swamps. You know, Louise, one of these days you might have to send me the recipe for haggis and I'll just make it my daggum self. I know it's stomach, liver, and lungs. And that's all I can. That's all I know. Boy, you getting to be a T-Rex size, all right? These bugs getting bigger. Yes, I have seen the movie Braveheart. I used to have a replica claymore of the real William Wallace's sword from the statue that's in his hometown. You know, I also used to have a Targe that I made, but both the Targe and my claymore unfortunately got destroyed in a tornado. Dang it. But it is what it is. You can't stop Mother Nature from Mother Naturing, you know, and I wouldn't stop her anyway, you know, because to be fair, those storage buildings were hideous and they were run by drug addicts. So your stuff got stolen anyway, but it was what I could afford, you know. So it's just what there was at the time, you know, guys. And meds. Meds. Medications, 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 medications. I hate taking these things, guys. I really, really do, to be honest. You're scared to try it? You're still scared to try haggis? I forgot about that. That drawing of the Minotaur and Were-Rabbit is cool. Thank you, Cass. His name is Tobias Bloodhorn, is the character's name. And his father was Titus Bloodhorn, and his mother was a woman by the name of Golden Song. She was a were-rabbit that was looked at as a fertility goddess and kept inside of a golden temple. While her husband, Titus Bloodhorn, was a rampaging legendary minotaur that was accidentally teleported to her realm during a battle with a powerful wizard. And when he got there, she was the only being that could tame his heart. And he eventually fell in love with her. And through that love, he ended up saving her from a hell dragon that tried to take over her entire temple in disguise as the main high vizier. And when the main high vizier ended up being busted and turned into his dragon form, Titus Bloodhorn was the one who came to the rescue. And when he did, he destroyed the great dragon and saved the Golden Temple and redeemed himself from the severe actions that he did when he first arose as the Minotaur, Titus Bloodhorn. So when he did that, Golden Song fell for him, and they bore a child together. And he cannot change into a were-rabbit or anything like that, although he does change into a jackalope, which I thought was funny. But, you know, he is basically just a horned were-rabbit with a large mane, like what some bulls do actually have. And that's just some of his backstory. Thank you, Louise. You know, I try to learn as much as I possibly can. As an Asatru, a follower of Odin and the Viking gods, mostly Odin, I believe in knowledge and wisdom being the ultimate power. So I try to learn everything I can. I try to get my hands on as much information as I can, and I try to get my hands on as many legends and folklore and folk songs as I can from around the world. So if I run into anybody, I know the right things to say. I know the way to be respectful. I know what their culture expects. You know, it's called common courtesy. You know, I live here on the planet with you guys. I might as well learn. I love you too, baby. Thank you, Cass. Believe it or not, I came up with that story on the fly whenever I was younger. I literally just sat down, drew the character, came up with a backstory, and have kept it ever since. The drawing he's talking about, by the way, guys, is right here. This is Tobias Bloodhorn. He is a Wushu Shaolin monk and is the child of a were-rabbit and a minotaur. His were-rabbit mother was a lop-ear. His minotaur father, of course, was based around a black Spanish fighting bull. And then we've got the Rune Mother, which she keeps the language of my world. So yeah, guys, these are artworks like you could get from me whenever I go to sell. These would be things I would, you know, draw for you guys and sell to y'all. My little baby velociraptor. Just goofing around. I just drew a baby velociraptor, just having fun. You know, but drawing is just something I enjoy. You know, guys, it calms me down. And I I can't look at a picture and draw it, but I can freehand like an SOB. Might take me a few tries and a couple of races, but I'll get it down. But anyway, guys, we've hit an hour and 4 minutes. It's been oh so wonderful having all of y'all in here. You know, thank you, Louise. You know what? Forget about it. We'll continue it on anyway. I've got time to pack. You know, but yeah, I try to have an outlet for my schizophrenia. And that outlet is creative writing and, you know, drawing and creating creatures and monsters and writing my book, my novel, drawing what I see as a schizophrenic. Those pictures happen to be rather terrifying, unfortunately. You know, not very many of those are pretty. But an example of one is this one right here. I call it the Dream Eater. It's one of the things I see as a schizophrenic. When I have nightmares, this thing seems to want to chase me around. And if he gets close enough to me, it will latch on to my mind, body, and soul as one and will feed off of any positive thoughts that I have. And all those heads sing a song that will send you into a depressive state and seem to want to control you. You know, so that's just one of the things that I see. Let me see. There's this one here too. And yes, I see them almost every day. I see them almost every single day. It's nonstop. You can always tell what I see as a schizophrenic because it'll always have these things around it. Except for one. But yes, I see them very often. Now, I do see some pretty things. Or some neat looking things. Like, I'll draw them down real quick sometimes so I won't forget them. This is a first initial rough draft. I'm going to redraw this later. There's multiple ones. There's 87 different personalities in my head. And so far, I've been counting over 100 voidlings, which is the terrible, scary things that I see. Like, this is a lot of people's personal favorite picture. This is a voidling hunter, is what I call it, because it seems to always be tracking me down no matter where I go. And it always seems to want to mess with me. This is one of the many, many things I see as schizophrenic. And yes, that is actual color, that is full detail, and that is as realistic as I can get it. I'm not a realistic artist, but that's the best I can do. Quite frankly, I don't think it's a very good representation, but it's the closest I could get. But yeah, they are a major part of my life. They never go away, and the harder they are, the louder they are, the harder it is on me. Excuse me, guys. One more trip to the restroom. We'll talk for a few more minutes, and then I'm afraid I've got to go. Ouch. Dog bowl. All right, guys. We are back. Oh. Thank you, Louise. It's taken a long time to earn this bravery. You know, it wasn't anything that I was born with. I was terrified as a child. You know, and I didn't have a very big support group either. So I'm kind of traumatized from it, but I've learned to deal with it as best I can. My trauma still comes out from time to time, and I still have PTSD fits. But it is what it is, you know. And when I have my PTSD fits, I see these things a lot. And they all talk. Every last one of them can speak to me. My hallucinations are visual and auditory. You know, I can feel physical damage that they try to inflict. You know, like that voidling hunter has bitten me before. And then things, when I see them, they're huge. You know, they're not little. They're big. You know, I've literally watched one of them bite me in half and feel it, and was freaking out, rolling around on the ground, only to find out that I was hallucinating. You know, that I was just fine. Oh, I'm feeling great tonight, Louise. Why is Matt Ross a mod over here? You know, that guy is a known... I didn't know there was a Matt Ross over here. You know, I didn't know he was a mod. Who's Matt Ross? No, I didn't know that. But I will check it out. Yeah, I may have modded him, but I didn't know who he was, dude. I don't look people up, man. Your past is your past. I didn't know he talked to minors. I'll talk with him about it. That's all I can say, man. Yeah, I'm feeling great, Louise. But yeah, I didn't know that. So I'll talk with him. And if he is, I'll simply get him. No, it's never forgiven. It isn't. I got it. What I'm saying is I will go on ahead and do that. Yeah, Louis, there's my Jin. Yeah, there is not a Matt Ross here. Okay, I thought so. I haven't seen a Matt Ross. I didn't know him. I don't have him on my my registration list, and I'm sub to everybody that's sub to me. So I don't know where he is. Okay, I guess you do. Whatever, you're out. I'm tired of you causing drama. Get out of here. Sorry, guys. Troll's Bane spoken. That's the third one gone today. You know, there is no Matt Ross here. I don't think I know one at all. So, oh well. You know, even if I did, what's up, Mr. Pete? So, yeah, I just had to get rid of the guy. Bug, get off my screen. So, yeah, guys, we're at an hour and 12 minutes. We're probably going to try to shoot for 20 likes on this video, and then we'll call it even, guys. All right? So that's only another 3 more likes, guys. What is up, everyone? Pete. Mr. Junebug, you got to move. Mr. Treehopper, you got to move. Hey, Maxima, how you doing? So, yeah, he was a mod here then. Who was? Oh, I love horror movies, actually, Louise. It's so much easier watching them than what I see. So, yeah, he was a mod here then at Jin. You know him. Look, dude, I don't know a Matt Ross. All right? I don't have a Matt Ross on my list. Okay? Quit coming in here and saying I do. I do not have one on here. Next time I see you, I'm going to hit you with harassment. All right? Or report you, definitely. So, quit it. If you want to come in here and talk, that's fine. But wait for this Matt Ross to show up and then say your piece. All right, you're out again, dude. You're going to go see the new Final Destination tomorrow, Louise? That's awesome. I have seen Terrifier. Yeah, be gone, troll. You know, I don't know a Matt Ross. If I do, okay. You petty, calm down for real. Clint did nothing to you, bro. In all kindness, though, peace be with you. Yeah, man, just calm down. I don't know the guy. Besides, even if I did know him and mod him on my channel, I don't know you guys' past, and I don't want to know your guys' past. So to come in here and bring up somebody's dirty laundry is automatically going to get me to believe you're lying. Plain and simple. You know, sure, you might be coming in here and telling me the truth, but at the same time, I can't believe anything I hear on here a lot of times, guys. There's certain things I do believe, which is you guys that are being calm, collected, cool people. And then there's the people that come in here talking smack. And if you're talking smack, you're going to get smacked out. That's all there is to it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I've gotten, you know, I've had people sit there and call me a pedophile because I talk to minors on here. But I've got, you know, letters. I've literally got permission. So kind of kiss my butt, you know? The whole thing about this is simply put, as a small content creator and as a creator on YouTube, period, there is no reason, nor is there any point for me to destroy y'all's privacy by looking y'all up. There you are again, being a dickhead. Go away. One of my favorites is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm also currently playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre game on Xbox. Oh, no, I know. I know exactly what you mean. And you see, I'm trying to teach. That's the difference. So don't come in here causing problems on my channel. You will get the boot. It's that simple. I don't care what you have to say. If you're coming in here bringing drama, get out. You know, that's all there is to it. Yeah, troll. He's going to keep coming in. Because, you know, I've noticed a lot of times when people turn around and they accuse people of doing shit, they're doing it themselves. Oh, no, he ain't getting me down. I think he's hilarious. Bubba Tory, yeah. You're out. I already know about you, dude. You're out of here. Yeah, man. That was Bubba Tory's dad. If y'all never see him again, man, that's it. He's gone. Yeah, there's always got to be those trolls. But, you know, they say that when you start getting trolls like that, guys, you're actually getting big. You're actually becoming a channel. You know what I mean? And you know what? If I'm getting trolls, I'm getting trolls. You know, oh well. You know, guys, I'm almost at 1,500 subscribers. Kiss my buns. How many did he got? You know, and so what if he's got more than me? You know, I don't care. It's not a competition anyway. You know. Yeah, thanks, Max. Yes, they're definitely ridiculous. Thank you very much. You know, and that's all we do try to spread is wisdom, knowledge, and kindness. You know, guys. So you want to come in here and you want to spread bullshit, get out. But anyway, guys, we are 1 hour and 19 minutes in. We need one more like to end the live. So, guys, if you're new here, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Come join the family. One thing that's bad about YouTube is that the fact you can have many alternate accounts. I feel like they have so much drama about stuff. Yeah, I know, right? Definitely get on my nerves too. Tony. That's hilarious, brother. That was funny. You got a good sense of humor on you. I like that. I like that, Tony. Yeah, it's good to know you're 26, but I'm still laughing at what Tony had to say. That's hilarious. But you guys, I got to thank y'all. Mining for likes. Thank you. All right, man. We'll check you guys all later. Y'all are a hoot. Thank you so much for the 21 likes. As usual, y'all are the backbone of the channel. Some of the greatest life force that us content creators could ever ask for. Y'all are what drives us. Y'all are what makes us want to do this every day. Y'all are our muse. So, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep hitting the bell icons. Take care of these small content creators like me and my Gen. Come check us out. And as always, see you from the swamps, later from a gator. Love you, mama. Love you, papa. Love yourself. Be kind and always find a way to help, guys. So we'll see you next time here in the swamps. Bye, everybody.